94, and in 95 I get the same questions I get all the time. How in God's name are you going to balance the budget, cut taxes, and pay down the debt? It's impossible. Well, we went through a government shutdown, and we just kept at it. And the shutdown was over dismissing any phony numbers that Bill Clinton, who claims that he was the one that balanced the budget, that's the biggest joke in town. We dragged Bill Clinton crying and screaming, gnashing of teeth to the balanced budget altar. And the bottom line is, we did reform everything. We did make the numbers add up. And you know what? This group of people that I worked with had no fear. They put the country first, and the guiding principle was our children. The guiding principle is we have no right to saddle our children with debt that they're going to be forced to pay off, and we're doing it because of our own extravagance. It's a sin, it's wrong, and if they cut us all down, that's just the way it goes. Because there's nothing worse in life than losing an election when you stand for nothing. Well, you know, it ain't great to lose an election when you stand for something, but could you imagine how horrible it would be as if you stood for nothing and you lost an election? So we swung big, we swung for the fences, and we got it done. We balanced the budget, we paid down the largest amount of debt in the modern history of the United States, and we reduced capital gains all at the same time. And then we went completely haywire. Now, I left in 2000, and I'm with you on what we saw. I began to see it deteriorate in the very late 90s. Republicans starting to act like Democrats. We spent 40 years getting to the place where we actually had our hands on the wheel, and in a very short period of time, it all came undone. We spent money like liberals, and I like to say that God created Republicans for two reasons: to cut taxes and cut spending. And God has been very disappointed, and I figured out over the years it isn't good to disappoint him. Stick with him. It's a smart thing to do. And we lost our way. We had earmarks, we had corruption, Republicans going to jail, not just in Washington, but in Ohio, in our own great state, people going to jail. Forgot the whole purpose of what the heck we were put into power to do. I got a sense that Democrats are starting to learn that, and you know what the problem is? Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And we went down that path so fast. Now, I've got a sense we're getting back, now. But you know, Republicans are real comfortable. You know why? Because we're great at being against. Okay, sometimes you stable the ship by, just stabilize it. And okay, did a great job fighting the stimulus package, but it is not good enough in politics to be again. You got to tell people what you're for. You got to tell people how you're going to fix health care. You got to tell people how you're going to fix Social Security. You got to tell people how you're going to fix the tax code. You got to tell people how you're going to do any range of issues, the education system, even if it means we have to march against the teachers' unions who are in that business for themselves and not for our children. And that's got to come to an end. Okay?